Hello, I'm Harry. I'm from the UK and I live in Tokyo where I work in an animation studio. I know that working in the animation industry in Japan is a dream for a lot of people, so I thought I'd share my story about how I got here in the hopes that it would be of use to some of you out there. Also, I got to this position without ever doing an English teaching job. I know a lot of people want to move to Japan but they don't want to teach English, so I hope this story will be of use to those people as well. It does, however, involve a few very lucky breaks, so stay tuned for that. So I got into making animation over 10 years ago. I started making Lego stop motion animations and putting them on YouTube, and the channel is still out there, so I'll link it somewhere if you want to go and see it. That was basically where I learned kind of the basics of filmmaking and animation. But after a few years of doing that and learning how to make animation and film, I was very fortunate to receive some commissions from the Lego company's PR team. So I made a few promotional Lego videos for them, one of which was completely by chance picked up on Japanese television. A Japanese reporter and his cameraman came around to my house, to my studio in my bedroom, to interview me about that stuff. I was on TV in Japan. So I'd had an interest in Japanese culture before then, but that was the start of kind of the professional relationship with Japan, because I kept in contact with those reporters. By that point I decided that animation was what I wanted to do, so I went to university to study 3D animation in the UK, and during one of the summer holidays when we had lots of free time and we were being pestered to get work experience, make contacts for when you graduate, I decided to reach out to the reporter who had interviewed me a couple of years ago and ask him, are there any opportunities in Japan? So that summer, in the first year of university, I came and visited Tokyo and I met my reporter friend, and he introduced me to all sorts of people, including a woman who would later become my boss. Now at that point, I spoke no Japanese. I had studied for like 3 weeks, so I could do the most basic introductions, but in spite of that, everyone was so kind and so welcoming that when I went back to the UK, I found myself just filled with motivation to learn the language, because I really wanted to be able to speak with those people that I'd met. And of course, there seemed to be maybe in the future job opportunities. So I went back to university, and while working on my degree, I studied Japanese in my spare time. I want to make another video in the future talking in detail about how I taught myself Japanese, but by the time I graduated I had a pretty good command of the language, and one of the women that I'd met during my trips was happy to hire me at her company, which made Japanese dubs of foreign TV shows. So I got a working holiday visa for Japan, which coming from the UK lasts for 1 year, and I came to work at that company in Tokyo. Before coming to Tokyo, I spent a little bit of time living in the countryside just to get a different flavour of Japan. Again, that's a story for another time. And I spent most of my first year in Japan working at this dubbing company, doing bits of video editing, helping them with some English translation, stuff like that. And then when my working holiday year was coming to an end, I felt like I was not ready to leave Japan. I started my career here, I'd made so many friends, so many contacts, I was having the time of my life, but the company that I was working for would not sponsor my actual working visa, so I needed to search for a new job. And that's when I applied for the animation studio that I worked at now, for a video editor position. As I had a degree in animation and also now a year's experience doing video editing work in a Japanese company, they were happy to hire me, which is how I got to where I am today. It's been over 6 months, nearly a year, since I joined the company, and I'm very happy with my life in Tokyo. So that's the short version of the story. Obviously there's an awful lot of details that I skipped out, but if there's anything that you'd like to know about working in animation in Tokyo, learning Japanese, living in Japan, please do leave a comment, because I want to make lots more videos about these subjects. So like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.